Thank you so much for joining us for today's Discover Viterbi Aerospace Mechanical Engineering. My name is Erin Tanaka, and I'm representing the graduate and professional programs here within USC Viterbi. And I'm very excited to have with me today our Professor Julian Domaradzki, who is going to be discussing our programs through our Aerospace Mechanical Engineering department. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. One moment. Okay, just a quick note. So we'll receive a copy of today's presentation within a few business days. And also, throughout the session, we do encourage you to ask questions. My colleague Megan Balding will be on to answer any questions that are a little bit more individualized. However, if there are questions that pertain to the full group, then I will be able to answer those, as well as Professor Domaradzki will be able to answer those questions at the end of the session. So you will have an additional opportunity to ask any of the questions that we weren't able to answer during the session at the end. But by all means, definitely encourage you to use a Q&A panel specifically to the right of the presentation, where you can ask as many questions as you like. For today's program, we'll quickly talk about the University of Southern California, or USC. I'll then talk about the Viterbi School of Engineering, and then we'll jump into the focus of today's session, which is, of course, our Aerospace Mechanical Engineering programs. So we'll talk about the individual programs that are offered. Professor Domaradzki will talk about those individual programs, as well as the department, department specifics for the Aerospace Mechanical Engineering department. Then talk about the application criteria, as well as our online Viterbi delivery method, a little bit about tuition and fees, and then again, as I mentioned earlier, I will follow up with an opportunity to ask any questions, whether it's for Professor Domaradzki or myself. And I do see a question quickly here. Will you receive a copy of slides? And the answer is yes. So for those of you that just recently joined us, you will be receiving a PDF copy of the slides within a couple of business days. Also, this session is recorded, so if you ever want to go back and view it again, then it will also be available on our website to view it. So for you that have not visited our campus here in sunny Southern California, here's some snapshots of our beautiful campus. And a little about USC. So we are the oldest private university in the Western United States. We were founded way back in 1880. Currently have over 47,000 students, and of that population, over 27,000 of those students are our graduate student population. In terms of our faculty members, we have over 4,300 full-time faculty members. That doesn't include many of the faculty who will come and guest lecture from a variety of different industries. Also have a very diverse student population. So we have students from all over the world, many different countries, of course, all throughout the United States as well, all different walks of life there, and are located in Los Angeles. So for those of you that are not familiar with Los Angeles or even California, we are located in Southern California. We're about a 15 minutes, depending on traffic, drive from the downtown Los Angeles area, and so we are in the center of all the action, whether it's as far as commerce, of course, multiple technology and engineering companies nearby, as well as in the Silicon Beach area, which is about a 45-minute drive, depending again on traffic. So the Viterbi School of Engineering. So we are comprised of 8 academic departments, and of course, one of those being our Aerospace Mechanical Engineering department. In terms of our student population, so similar to USC's total population, our graduate students are actually the majority of that population. So we have over 5,700 graduate students. Big, kind of related to that is the the fact that we are leader in funded research. So we have many grad students, PhD students, or those that have the opportunity at the master's level to conduct research. There's a lot of different research going on in a variety of different areas, and so we currently have over 35 research centers and over $204 million in research expenditures annually. Currently, we also have 189 tenure-track faculty members. We have, 35 total National Academy of Engineering members, and over 60 National Science Foundation, Career, National, and Presidential Young Investigator awardees. And currently, we have over 76,000 alumni. So, we know the rankings aren't everything, but, we have a lot of prospective students that often ask us, what are you ranked? So we are very proud to say that we are currently ranked a top 10 graduate engineering program overall. So that includes both our on-campus, as well as online programs. So overall, and then specifically in the online arena, we are ranked number 1, and this has been a consistent ranking. So we're very proud of the fact that we are ranked number 1 for online computer information technology program, or computer science. We're ranked number 2 for online graduate engineering programs, and that actually spans over 40 programs that we do offer. And then for those of you, I know some of you may be veterans or active duty military, so this may be of interest to you. But we are also ranked number 1 for our online graduate computer science, specifically veterans, as well as number 2 specifically for our online graduate engineering program for veterans. For those of you that may be veterans or active duty military, I am more than happy to assist you with any questions or concerns you have. So if that pertains to you, feel free to reach out to me via the Q&A or the chat, and I will definitely be sure to pass along important information for you. So key points of distinction, we do international reputation for excellence. And so really what that means is, when you graduate from USC, your degree is recognized not only within the U.S., but, in many countries throughout the world. We have many partnerships, both with government agencies, with organizations and companies throughout the world. In addition, we're part of what's called the Trojan Family Network. Specifically, here within the Viterbi School, we have over 76,000 engineers that comprise of this Trojan Family Network. In addition, in terms of our programs that we offer, we have everything from our online Den of Viterbi and master's programs, which we will talk about, of course, our on-campus programs as well as on-site programs, and then the complete range, so everything from bachelor's degrees all the way up to PhDs, as well as short courses and custom programs, if any of you are interested in executive education that are aside from our master's programs and graduate certificates that we offer. I mentioned before, we are a leader in funded research. So if you are interested in research and are interested in particular areas and you'd like to find out more, we do encourage you to visit our Viterbi School website to learn more about the various research that's going on in a variety of different areas. And I know within Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, of course, there are definitely lots of different research areas and things happening at any given point, and Professor Domaradzki would have insight into that. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask away as well. So I'd like to now introduce you to our Professor Julian Domaradzki. He is our professor and chairman here within the Department of Aerospace Mechanical Engineering. He earned his PhD in physics from the University of Warsaw. He has a lot of research work and has been supported by various organizations, including the Department of Energy, the Office of Naval Research, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL as we know it, and of course the National Science Foundation. So very notable there, to say the least. He is also a fellow of the American Physical Society, or APS, and is also an associate fellow of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, or AIAA. So with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Professor Domaradzki, who will give you some great insight.
Hello, everyone. Let me start with research that we are doing in aerospace and mechanical engineering. And there are detailed areas and some more general topics. Let's look at these general topics: aerospace systems and technologies, especially related to dynamics and to structures of airplanes. Dynamical engineering, this is a new area which involves applications to medicine and also to biological organisms moving, living in water and air. Energy engineering is a big topic. Mostly we are concentrated on combustion and some new technologies in the area in AME. And another broad of research is robotics and advanced manufacturing. We have Center for Advanced Manufacturing, which is involved in application and development of 3D printing and industrial robotics. Now, let me specify some numbers about aerospace mechanical engineering. We have currently 21 faculty, tenure track faculty members, and 9 full-time lecturers. We have also a number of faculty from other departments who conduct joint research and sometimes teaching, but their main appointments are in other departments in the Viterbi, so it's 18 joint appointments. Number of students, the most recent numbers I got is 515 undergraduates, which is about 20% of total engineering, and 472 graduate students, which is about 10% of the student population in Viterbi. Out of these 472, 90 are PhD students, and the rest are master students. And we have somewhere on the order of 20-25 million in grants that support research in the department. As far as student groups are concerned, here there are 3 design teams which have been actually quite successful. Are design teams for undergraduate students, so maybe of less interest to you, but it shows that both aerospace engineering, this design build flight team, and the Formula SAE, Society Automotive Engineers Race Car team, are very popular for students, and the latest one that was added as project, actually you see there are fewer students in this last picture. And this is the human-powered vehicle design team, and they placed the 4th in the West in the competition last year. Now let's get the meat and potatoes of our programs, Aerospace Mechanical Engineering Master of Science program. So a number of degrees. There are general degrees in aerospace engineering, the first at the top, and general degree in mechanical engineering, that would be fourth from the top. And there are several other more specialized aerospace engineering degrees in computational fluid and solid mechanics, dynamics and control, energy conversion, product development, which is really design, engineering design, and the dual degree with the industrial system engineering in Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering with engineering management component. How these, what classes you will be taking for these degrees. So that would be in the next slide. As an example, MS Aerospace Engineering. The program requirements are it's minimum of 27 units. Right now we actually are in the process of transition. The requirements as they are listed in the catalog, current catalog, which will change probably by summer, there are two required engineering analysis courses, and this is common for all master degrees, all programs, engineering and engineering analytical methods, 6 units. However, starting in fall 2019, we have one required class, which would be a 4-unit class. It will be most called AME 525, which will have most important elements from engineering analysis and analytical methods. Those courses will be offered 525 and 526 as 4-unit classes, but only one will be required for this degree. And then there are required course specialization tracks. So you select one of the tracks: aerodynamics, fluid dynamics, controls, design, structures, CFD, and for those tracks, department website lists actually courses and recommended technical electives. So let's look at example of what classes would be required in more detail, and this is example of computational fluid and solid mechanics. White courses always will include mathematics, so it would be 525, 526, which in fall will become a required course. And the total units for core courses will be 21 or 20 units. It involves general computational methods for engineering, AME 404, and then technical classes in solids, applied elasticity, AME 504, or CE 507, and technical courses in fluid mechanics, dynamics of incompressible fluids, for instance. And in addition, there would be 2 classes in computational methods, in Introduction to Computational Fluid Mechanics and Finite Element Analysis. So the core courses cover the physics and cover numerics for solids and fluids. And then there is choice technical electives. There are several listed here: compressible gas dynamics, convection processes, dynamics of structures. In that, there are technical electives. So you need to select either advanced course in computational fluid mechanics or advanced course in finite element analysis, or if you are interested in modulations, there are courses in material science, basics of atom simulations of materials and molecular dynamic simulation. So you get, in other words, very detailed roadmap what classes you need to take to become, to be able to claim that you are an expert in computational fluid and solid mechanics. So that was one example. Another which is shown here is dynamics and control. This is maybe specific. It still requires these courses, and even after changes that we are making right now, both 525 and 526 will be required because this is heavily mathematical discipline. And have a number of other control and dynamics courses which are required. And in these courses, you can choose with advisement from faculty or our student advisors number of different areas that might be of most interest or most interest job: orbital dynamics, spacecraft control, aircraft dynamics, etc., etc. About aerospace engineering and specific aerospace and mechanical engineering degrees, and then we have actually much more, I think, a bigger problem in mechanical engineering with requirements which are, again, mathematics. You select one of the specialization tracks. In thermal analysis, you can specialize in combustion, fluid dynamics transfer. There is engineering design, mechanics and materials, and advanced manufacturing. Main products that we have. And conversion, so I will not go through this in detail, but but you are getting probably the idea of how everything is structured. So there is the basic mathematics, which is common for all engineering mathematics, common for all degrees, and then there are specialized required courses for each area, and then after that, number of electives that you could choose, not only from aerospace and mechanical engineering department, but also from other departments in the School of Engineering or in the college. Product development engineering, this is a type of program which has really two separate tracks. One which is focused on aerospace and mechanical design, and another one which is on systems engineering. So there are courses which are mixed with both departments, and if you are in AME, then you will selection of required product development technology courses, those at the bottom, AO5 and mathematics. There will be courses that you will be taking in industrial system engineering, those that at top ISC 545, and those project management and management of engineering team. Finally, we have dual degree programs in aerospace engineering and engineering management, and these programs, the previous one, and these programs actually are managed by industrial and systems engineering department. Programs require that you meet admission standards for both departments, and number is well, not double, but it's that 48 units is required. You are getting equivalent of 2 degree 1 in aerospace engineering and another in engineering management. So aerospace or mechanical engineering, this would be called technical background, which then would be with the engineering management skills, more of business type of education. Now, what do students do? What do I do? I think it would be appropriate to show number of different companies that our students have access to in this area. We even added, some movie and the entertainment industry in the middle. There are different schools in the area, UCLA and Caltech, and we have seminars and collaborations with faculty in those schools. Students have internships or work in local aerospace companies. You have them listed here: Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Aerospace Corporation. It's very popular. We have a large number of our graduates there. And there are really some sort of supported like Aerospace Corporation, JPL, and Vandenberg Air Force Base near Santa Barbara, Edwards Air Force Base north of Los Angeles. NASA is a little bit further. From my I know that I just communicated recently with my former PhD student who is at in Seattle, and he asked me to provide recommendations for their CFD group from a current master's student. My other student who is at Google X is often asking me to pass on information about job openings that they have there. Next, we have a visit from Microsoft hardware design team recruiting most of the graduate students for internships with possibility of transitioning to a position eventually. So we have all these vibrant interactions with industry in this area, and of course also outside Southern California, as I mentioned. So this is what expect to be available to you after getting master's degree.
Right. Well, thank you for that fantastic information. Hopefully you got a little bit about all the opportunities there. So now, before, and again, as I mentioned earlier, please ask any questions using the Q&A panel. If you have any follow-up questions to what Professor Domaradzki just discussed, definitely ask away and we'll answer those at the end. But now I'll move on to the application criteria and the admissions criteria for our master's degree program. So keep in mind that this information is general. We do always encourage you to visit the individual program page for the specific requirements. But overall, the requirement is that you do have to have an undergrad degree in or Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Math, or Hard Science including biology, chemistry, physics, etc. It must come from a regionally accredited university. To be competitive, although it's not required, we do encourage a cumulative undergraduate GPA of at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. If you don't have that 3.0 quite there, if it's not quite there, that's okay. You're still encouraged to apply. We do encourage you to just strengthen the areas that you can control, whether it's the GRE or the graduate record exam or the supplemental materials, and submitting those regardless of whether or not they're required or not. GRE is required. If you have taken the exam less than 5 years ago, those scores would count, but there's no minimum GRE score that is required in order to be considered eligible. A resume or CV is also required, and then the area that will depend based off the program are the supplemental materials. So statement of purpose is required. Letters of recommendation, they will be either optional or required depending on the particular program. Yes, optional meaning that, if there is a part of your application that may not be as strong or, as strong as you'd like, or if you feel that you have, fantastic recommenders, whether it's a former professor or a supervisor or somebody that can just really speak to your caliber as a potential student, by all means, you are more than welcome to submit a letter of recommendation. In addition, for those who are international applicants, the TOEFL would also be required. So, please make sure to consult the individual program page for the specific requirements when applying. So for applicants, the fall 2019 deadline to submit required materials, for those of you that are on campus, the deadline has passed. For those of you that are planning to pursue your program online via Viterbi, we have an opportunity for an application extension for the fall 2019 deadline, but it's specific to our Viterbi applicants. If you are interested in applying for the fall 2019 semester, please make sure to email us at viterbi.usc.edu, and we will follow up with additional information. Otherwise, for those that are interested in the spring 2019 semester, which starts in January next year, the deadline to submit all required materials is going to be September 15th, 2019. For on-campus students who are interested in scholarship consideration, your application deadline would be August 31st, so please make sure to keep that in mind. And then for those that are online Viterbi applicants, here's the scholarship, the Viterbi scholarship that you offer. That's a separate application, so if you're interested in that particular scholarship, we can share that information with you at a later time. In addition, for those that may be interested in fall 2020, so that would be fall of next year, which starts in August, the deadline to submit all required materials would be January 15th, 2020. Sounds very far away, but isn't. And the deadline for scholarship consideration, and this is again for on-campus only, is going to be December 15th, 2020. So again, those that are interested in pursuing their program online via Viterbi, please reach out to us at the email address if you have any questions about extension. So for course methods, we have two fantastic options. However, on-campus time delivery, and that is, when you come to campus, to USC's campus, oftentimes those students are taking 3, sometimes 4 classes per semester, depending on how much they can handle at once. And generally speaking, our on-campus students are graduating about 1.5 to 2 years. So oftentimes they want to, just go full force with their master's degree and then graduate as early as possible. We also have our online Viterbi delivery method. This is something that's fantastic, a fantastic flexible option for those that may be working full time, that may be far away in another state or another country even, that wish to pursue their degree. You don't have to be working full time to pursue your degree online. It is simply a degree method, and I will talk more about it specific in a bit. But generally speaking, because many of our students, our online students, are working full time, we typically take, 1 class, maybe 2 classes per semester. It is completely flexible, and they're typically graduating about, on average, 2.5 to 3 years. But as long as you complete your degree within 5 years, with options to petition for additional years, then it is flexible in terms of how many courses you take. So our on-Jenna Viterbi delivery method works if you're not already familiar. So, our Jenna Viterbi delivery method is what's considered a blended model. So, there's a lot of different online programs out there, but one thing that is really special about ours is that it is a proprietary system that is in-house here within the Viterbi School of Engineering. So this really enables our students to have, that same in-person feel as you're here on campus. So there's essentially 3 ways that you can watch the lectures. The first is that you can watch it live as it's happening on campus from anywhere, in the U.S. or in the world. So that way you would be able to log in during the session. You could ask questions using the Q&A panel similar to this session. You could also go in, ask your questions there, and of course the faculty member will be able to answer your question as if you're in the classroom. In addition, if you are not able to attend the live lectures, whether it's for work reasons or the timing, you're in a different time zone, whatever that may be, you also have the opportunity to watch the lectures on your own time. So after the live session takes place, all of the courses that are offered online are recorded, so they are available in the course archive. That would enable you to download the lectures. You can stream them your own time. You can watch them for the first time, or you can watch them for the 3rd or 4th time. It's a fantastic studying tool that our Jenna Viterbi students always have access to from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. And finally, for those that are on our online students, you also have the flexibility to come to campus. So whether you are not too far from campus, or you're just visiting, or you're traveling for work and visiting the LA area, you are more than welcome to come to class and sit in on the class lectures, meet your faculty members as well as your peers. And even if you're not ever able to step foot on campus throughout your program, it is not required. You do not have to step foot on campus. It's just an option there in case you want it. The weekly lectures, it's always going to be fresh content. You don't have to worry about material being recycled constantly. The interactions that you have with both the professors and peers. I know that the faculty members have their office hours, but if those office hours don't work, more than happy to work with you to set up a time that works well. And in terms of interacting with your peers, you have a variety of different tools that you have, whether it's WebEx or BlueJeans, Google Hangouts. There's many ways to interact with other peers. And for your exam, so if you are within a 25-mile radius of the USC campus, you would actually take your exams here on the USC campus. Otherwise, if you're outside of that area, you would take your exams at a proctoring location. That may include a library, a community college. It could include a proctoring test center. But we do have an exam coordinating office. So if you ever need assistance in finding a location that's convenient for you, have a dedicated exam coordinating team that can help you, including if you ever are on work travel and need to find a location. As long as you communicate that at least a couple weeks in advance, then that is something that we can assist you with. So this gives you a comparison for those of you that may be undecided about between the 2 delivery methods. So for Jenna Viterbi students as well as on-campus students, the USC graduate application and required materials are exactly the same. There's no different admission. It's all the same required materials. The weekly course lecture, as I mentioned earlier, Gen students have 3 options. So live with interactivity via the course archives, as well as being able to come on campus. On-campus students, you are expected to come to campus. You do have access to the course archives, but that's only if there is a Jenna Viterbi student in the classroom. So, of course, our on-campus students love it when there's a Jenna student in the classroom because those course archives are a valuable tool. For assignments, you would have the same deadlines, so it is important especially for our online students, if you watch lectures at their time, to stay up to speed with those deadlines. But the Gen students would submit those electronically. On-campus students, you typically would submit lecture or lab according to the deadlines there. Exams, again, our GEN students are either on USC's campus or at a proctor location. Of course, USC on-campus students are expected to come to campus. Courses per semester I already talked about, but in terms of the degree completion requirements, 27 to 37 units with a 3.0 GPA or is the requirement, no difference there. And then in terms of the diploma, so whether online student or on-campus student, you're earning the same exact diploma. So if you're earning a Master's of Science in Aerospace Engineering, it's a Master's of Science in Aerospace Engineering. There's no distinction. If you are a Viterbi student, that you're an online student. It's the same exact degree, given that, the degree completion requirements and mission, curriculum, assignments, etc., are exactly the same. So this gives a behind-the-scenes look of a typical Viterbi classroom. So as I mentioned, every lecture that is given that's accessible to our Viterbi students are recorded, and each class has a camera operator that sits behind the scenes. They really are intended to be eyes and ears, so that anything that's going on campus is visible, especially, of course, the focused content. Also, if there are any questions in the room, you would be able to hear those. There are microphones embedded there. There's additional handheld mics, too. This is really to ensure that you have that full support. And I think another thing to really, hone in on is the fact that, something that makes us so special, and, in terms of Viterbi, is the fact that there's dedicated staff members here that are there to support you. We have a full network control support. We have our technical support team, our homework exam coordinating office. So there's a full team that is available to you as a GEN student. Just an idea of what it looks like during, in this case, and you can see what it's like to watch the lectures, download and stream them. So you can jump to a certain part of the lecture. You can, there's breadcrumbs for easy navigation, bookmark content. You can also speed up, fast forward or slow down the lecture if you need to. So really it's how you want to watch the lectures, and it's very user-friendly. This is just another point. In this case, you can see the lecture there, so you're able to see, what they're really focusing on, but at the same time being able to really look up close and personal as to, what the content is. So it's as easy as watching it in the classroom, sometimes maybe even more clear. And, you have a variety of ways to interact with your faculty as well as your peers. Whether you're interacting with online students or on-campus students, oftentimes, interacting online is the way that students interact these days, so, and, whether it's, Blue Jeans or Google Hangouts or, whatever way of communication that you prefer, your students have access to that. In addition, there's ever, a particular communication tool that you really enjoy using, and if Viterbi doesn't currently have an account with that, let our Gen Tech support team, and they'll help ensure that that is accessible to you. So we do want you to be able to interact in the best ways that you possible. Again, you can call during live lectures. You can participate in live chats and sort of discussion boards. Sometimes, depending on the faculty member, those are even required. So additional ways to interact there. I really mentioned this, but hopefully you gathered that. Is there any difference between earning a master's degree on campus versus via online Viterbi? The answer is no. Again, earning the same exact diploma, whether you're earning the degree on campus or online via Viterbi. Information. So for those of you that may be interested in getting started as early as a summer session, so maybe you're not quite ready to get to apply for formal admission, whether it's you need to take the GRE or you need, you just get an idea of what it's like to be an online Viterbi student. We do have what's called a limited status enrollment. It allows those that are strong candidates to begin coursework before formal admission. So it does require an undergrad degree of at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. If you don't have quite that 3.0, then you are encouraged to apply for formal admission. That way, your application can be reviewed in a comprehensive manner. In terms of courses, the maximum maximum 12 units that you can take as a limited status student, but if you take the courses that apply to a particular degree program you're interested in, as long as you later on apply for formal admission and are admitted, then those courses can count towards that particular degree. But it's really important to note that, as a limited status student, there's not a guarantee that you will be granted formal admission. It is really important to apply for formal admission as soon as possible. So to get some very easy steps, you'll want to visit the link provided there. In addition, for those of you that may be supported by your company, we do also offer a tuition deferment program. We do have several students that take advantage of this, but basically it's for those whose companies pay 75 to 100% of their tuition. It allows you to defer your upfront payment of your tuition until after the semester is over. That way you don't have to pay out of pocket up front. If this applies to you, we do encourage you to visit the tuition deferment page that's indicated there as well. In addition, this kind of gives you an idea of the tuition and fee structure. So, depending on the degree program and the number of units, because it does really depend. So, some degrees are 27 units, others are more. So the way to kind of just get an idea of about approximately how much it would cost would be by the per unit cost, which is subject to change. But we do offer a good amount of scholarships, whether you're on campus. We also have our Viterbi scholarship for those that are not fully funded by their employers, which again we can share with you at a later time as well. So to get those of you that are interested in taking classes on campus, we do encourage you to visit USC's campus. We do have an on-campus team that can also meet with you and assist you if you have any questions. We can connect you with that as well. You are, of course, encouraged to start your application for the spring, as early as the spring semester. And then for those that are interested in starting an online Viterbi student, we do encourage you to start as a limited status student as early as the summer 2019 session, which starts in May. Also, if you're interested in starting for the fall 2019 semester, please reach out to us if you would like to request an extension. The fall 2019 semester does start in August. So I did include our on-campus as well as our Viterbi email addresses there. Now is your opportunity, if you haven't already, to ask some additional questions. So I do see some here, so thank you for those that asked your questions. The first one I'll actually point to ask Professor Domaradzki, and that is, are there research and or funding opportunities for online master's students in aerospace?
Well, in principle, yes, but any research activity is done on campus, so it's difficult to have research done with faculty member if you are not on campus. So it rarely happens.
Okay, and then what work experience is required for a dual degree program, if any?
Don't believe that there is any work experience required. The Irish standards are based principally on from undergraduate degrees and reference letters. So work experience may be reflected in reference letters, but it's not required.
In addition to say that, yes, if you do work experience and you would like to highlight that in your statement of purpose, if you have somebody that can recommend you and through your work experience, by all means, you're welcome to do so in art as well. Let's see other questions here. So a question we often get is, if students are interested in a master's degree as well as a PhD program, is it helpful to get a master's degree before a PhD PhD program, or do you recommend just going straight into a PhD program?
In terms of admissions to PhD program, in general, admission also coupled with the financial aid. So in other words, we do not admit students that we cannot support to PhD programs. And students at the early stage of the application identify the members that work on topics of interest to them. So this is really individual, based on interactions between faculty members and students, not as well as admission to master program. The advancing master's degree is that you already number of units behind you, and you don't need as many units in the program PhD as working with a bachelor's degree only. We don't look at this as any really distinguish that much between applicants with the bachelor degree or degree. They just be very good and with promise. So it's really on a much more than simply specifying any minimum requirement. It has to be for research in particular direction, and it must be research that is represented in the department, because most of that research is supported by various research grants.
Right. Okay. And I do want to say one last thing. There was mention of the spring deadline. So I will say that the next deadline for our on-campus students is for the spring 2020 semester. So to clarify that, sorry if I said 2019, I can't remember, but it's for spring 2020, and the deadline would be for September 2019. So I don't see any additional questions. Let's see, just one more moment. There you go. Actually, there's more here. So I also see our which meant for autonomous systems, robotics, and advanced manufacturing.
I think that probably the best would be advanced manufacturing, because of presence of Center for Advanced Manufacturing, which somehow incorporates all these components. So that would be my recommendation.
Great. Are there any courses available? I'm specifically interested in sound structure interaction. Is there an option for a self-directed study? If there is a topic we would like to study that isn't specifically offered as a course?
There's specifically acoustics program in Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering. We have faculty work, research work on fluid structure interactions, but the acoustics program.
Can be, I think you already kind of spoke to this as well as I did, but for the lower than 3.0 GPA, what are some things to stand out or help in getting accepted other than letters of recommendation?
If it's below 3.0, I think it's possible to be accepted, and in this case, I would strongly advise letters of recommendation, and also taking somewhat proactive, speaking to somebody in the department you can even email to me with some explanations, and then I would pass it on to people involved in admissions, so that it's not completely impersonal. It is important because in the end, there are people that are making these decisions. So the more they have, the better.
Right. And I think that we see here is what courses do admissions staff look for in someone that has a degree in something other than engineering?
Well, if it is in different than engineering, or specifically mechanical or aerospace engineering, then this is by the faculty, one of faculty members who is academic advisor, and there might be, recommendations to take some prerequisite courses, or at least co-requisite courses to fill requirements for degrees in mechanical engineering. So you may be asked to take some adult undergraduate courses, sort of the general program, MS degree.
Yes. Also add to that, you will have an academic advisor if you are admitted. So, any sort of deficient courses that you would need to take, our academic advisor would work directly with you from the department. And so, whether you're an online student, on-campus student, you would have that department advisor to work with you and build out, build out a schedule that works. And
quite often in the past, when I was dealing with such cases, we were trying, in fact, to fit these required courses that were not taken, as we counted them sometimes as elective. So your MS program was flexible, that you didn't have a chance for taking some elective courses, but instead you were taking some of those that were prerequisite for core requirements in the program. That was simply done because obviously it's taking additional courses, and we didn't want to burden students with too many extra courses and related financial costs.
Right. Well, I think that concludes all the questions. Thanks out there for asking these fantastic questions. I do want to thank, of course, Professor Domaradzki for all his insight. Very, very helpful. I hope you all found it insightful and helpful as well. And so we do encourage you, if you have any additional questions after the session, feel free to reach out to us. If you're an on-campus prospective student, you can reach out to our on-campus team at viterbi.gradprograms@usc.edu. For those that are interested in pursuing the program on, you can reach out to myself as well as Megan at our den at viterbi.usc.edu. Or if you'd like to, speak to someone on the phone, by all means, please give us a call, and we will be able to chat with you about any questions or concerns you may have.
Also in the department, of course, if any questions are passed on to us, answer them.
Great. Well, then, again, thank you so much for joining us, for taking your time out of your busy day. And
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.